It is time for Rich Rebel Sports on 98.3 KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. Rebel Sport brought to you in part by the Rich School District, Evanston Regional Hospital, Ready, West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, the Come On In, the Station on Main, Les Schwab Plains Tire, Stacy's Repair, Summit Pizza, Little Springs Water, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, Ellingford Brothers, Hometown Drive-In, the Town of Woodruff, T7 Propane, Bear Lake Realty, Independent Software Solutions, McKay Frankham DDS, and the Crawford Trop. Let's go to the Les Schwab Plains Tire broadcast booth and join the voice of the Rebels, Aaron Poling.
Welcome to the Les Schwab Plains Tire's broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ. It is time for the Summit Pizza Company pregame show. When we come back, we will have your scene set for today's matchup as you are watching those 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team on MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are rich high school alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as on 98.3 KADQ. It is time for the Little Springs Water scene set for today's matchup, as the Rebels will take on the Eagles, this time in volleyball, as the Rebels played the Eagles in football earlier. It is a pink out day for the Lyman Eagles here in Lyman High School, as the Eagles are on your right-hand side if you're watching online at MyLocalRadio.com. Rebels on the left. Rebels wearing white uniforms with white numbers, pink outlines, pink uniforms with white numbers for the Lyman Eagles, as once again, it's great to be a part of something like this. These nights are kind of special because two teams come together to really try to combat what is an awful disease in cancer, as cancer is terrible. Everyone knows that. You don't need me to tell you that. But it's just awesome to be a part of, high schools coming together and putting on a spectacle and raising money for breast cancer awareness. And that's something that's always great to be a part of, as the Rebels come in 12-12, 9-0 overall last weekend before the state tournament, as the state tournament will technically start next week. Rebels, barring something crazy happening, will not have to play next week, as they are currently number 4 in the RPI. To have to play next week, they'd have to fall to something like 13th in the RPI, and that's just not going to happen in the course of 2 games. Rebels with an opportunity here to take out the Eagles, who took them out at home earlier in the season in 3 sets. Rebels trying to bounce back and win this one after a weekend in the Richfield tournament where they played a lot of tough competition, as they are probably ready for this game, trying to get back in the win column against the Eagles, as you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at MyLocalRadio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
When you need automotive service on your car, truck, semi, or tractor, call Clay and the team at J-Bar Auto in Randolph. J-Bar Auto also offers competitive pricing on tires for all vehicles. Call or stop by J-Bar Auto today.
With Martin Vasquez, senior at Rich High School, and this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
So you guys had the home meet this week, and cross country's a sport I ran, and there's just something about that race at home. I don't know if it's just you get to run and you don't have to travel, but man, that race is special. Go ahead and tell me about it.
I didn't personally run it, but I know, or I've done the practice track before, and it's a nice, peaceful track. It's got one pretty big, steep hill, but besides that, it's nice. You get to see nature, and it lets you think.
So you guys are coming up towards the end of your season as the region race is coming up. It's right around the corner, if you can believe it. What is it going to mean for you guys to go out and run that race? It's going to be a lot of competition, but it's also going to be finally competition of a school your own size.
It's going to be good. It's going to let us challenge our personal bests, our goals. We're going to be able to show that we're pretty good at running, at least. It's going to be fun.
So you're in your senior year. You're finally the oldest or the eldest statesman here on campus. What's it like for you to be a senior? Has it really set in yet?
It hasn't set in yet. I do feel like I'm pretty old, but I still hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah, really, really old. And there's people around here that might get upset for me for saying that, so I can't imagine how they're going to take it from you. But what are some of your goals for the rest of the year, both academics-wise and athletics-wise?
Trying to work on just getting in or preparing for my career I want to do. I want to go into CSI, so I'm taking classes to help me with that, and I'm working on seminary and stuff like that to go on a mission.
That's awesome to hear. Let's ask about the CSI. What's kind of drawing you into crime scene investigating, correct?
My family, most of it's been in cops and stuff like that, and it's just I've always been interested with problem solving and trying to figure out mysteries and whatnot, and so crime labs are pretty much that's their entire job, is helping detectives and cops figure out what happened.
No, that's awesome to hear. So I got one final question for you. What should the world know about Martin Vasquez?
That's a good question. I got a little brother that I think's pretty great at this running thing, and he's the biggest reason I joined it.
I want to thank Martin Vasquez for being a part of today's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week interview on the Summit Pizza Pregame Show. When we come back, we'll hear from Lyman Eagles head coach Brescia Hansen on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Pregame Coaches Show. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
The team at T7 Propane in Woodruff is always cheering for the Rich Rebels, in sports, in the classroom, and in life. For quality professional propane service, call T7 Propane in Woodruff, 435-793-4208. When you're hungry for an amazing breakfast, just like Grandma used to make, visit our bakery on Main Street in Randolph. We hand make fresh pastries for you to enjoy. Supporting the Rich Rebels and thanking you for your business, visit our bakery today.
I'm here with the head coach of the Lyman Eagles varsity volleyball team. That is head coach Brescia Hansen. Coach Hansen, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing pretty well. So this is the second time that Rich and Lyman will play volleyball this year. And the first time, you guys ended up winning in a sweep. But, boy, it seemed like that action was coming fast and furious. Can you go ahead and talk about the first matchup between the two teams?
Yeah, we did win in 3, which was surprising. I mean, Rich gave us a game. You guys did a lot of great things against us, but we expect that out of a Rich team. I mean, we play you guys at least once every season, and we know when we play Rich, the ball is coming back. I mean, I really think that defensively, they're always a tough team. They always serve well and pass well too. So we don't expect to just be able to show up and win. I mean, we played really, really well when we played, Rich at their gym, and I don't know if we can duplicate that again. We're sure going to try, but we know that it's going to be a lot of work for us no matter what.
So, Coach, we're getting down towards the end of the season. What so far from your team have you liked throughout the year?
You know, my team, I mean, the whole game of volleyball is a roller coaster, right? And you got high school kids, which is also a roller coaster. But I've really been proud of my team. I mean, we've certainly had ups and downs within a match, but my team, for the most part, has been able to stay steady and ride out those lows and just keep working through it until things can get going smoother for us. And I've been pretty proud of our perseverance there. We don't give up. We don't throw in the towel when things get hard. My kids just keep working, and that's a thing that I see again and again, and that hopefully is going to serve us well down the in the postseason. So
I want to talk about one of your outside hitters who I noticed last year from the middle of the floor how well she attacked the ball. Haley Eldridge, she has been on the outside this year, averaging 4 kills per set this year. Can you talk about her?
Well, I mean, anybody that watches can tell the kid's an absolute stud, right? And the thing that's even more impressive about her is she's only ever played middle blocker. So I'm trying to take this kid and make her an outside hitter in her final year of high school, and I had to say, Haley, we've just got to get you the ball more. So we have to put you out here. And she never once argued, complained, wanted to stay in her comfort zone. She's like, yep, okay, I'll do it. And she has taken a tremendous amount of swings for us, and she is so effective at what she's done. I mean, in any sport, when you have to learn a new position, it's almost like learning a new game. And she has she's just said, yep, that's what you need to do. I can do it. And I've just been so impressed with her. She'd never played back row before either. She's doing that this year. She's a really great service passer and a pretty darn good defender. So kid's a great volleyball player all the way around.
Where are some of the areas from your team that you want to see improvements?
I always think that where we work on passing and serving. That's the foundation of everything always, no matter who's on the team. We've got to pass and we've got to serve. And I think those are always areas that can improve. So I would probably pick on those 2 areas, even though we're pretty proficient at them. But the other thing that I really like, and I think a team can always improve on, including my team from this year, is stringing together those out-of-system plays. When the ball doesn't go where it's supposed to, and us trying to make lemonade out of lemons. I think we can continue to improve upon that and, improve upon making what we send over to the other side of the net tough, no matter if we're in system or out of system.
So with the end of the season coming up, Coach, what do you guys have to do to have another deep, successful run that is typical of Lyman volleyball?
I mean, after every match or set of matches, when you get back in the gym to practice, we look at 3 big stats. And so we've got to serve more aces than we have errors in a match. So, we try to be aggressive but conservative, if that makes any sense. We try to pass above a 2. So, we put a lot of emphasis on serve receive, and we try to hit above 200. And so being efficient at killing the ball without being out of control and making a lot of mistakes. And if we're going to make a run at it, all those 3 things we've got to keep in check, and we've got to play within the constraints of trying to hit those goals.
Awesome, Coach. Appreciate your time. Thank you. We want to thank Coach Brescia Hansen for being a part of today's Bear Lake Memorial Hospital pregame coaches show. As when we come back, we'll hear from head coach of the Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, Danelle Wasden, as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Ready is committed to providing superior services to our customers by requiring individual accountability for excellence in quality, safety, and dependability. We are a growing company that is currently hiring across Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Nevada, Idaho, and elsewhere. Our valued team members receive competitive wages, full benefits, and weekly pay. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997.
Coach of the Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, that's head coach Danelle Wasden. Coach, how you doing today?
Good, thank you.
So you guys played in the Richfield tournament this last weekend. You guys ended up going 1-4, but you played a lot of really good competition down there. Just go ahead and give me a recap of the weekend, please.
Yeah, we went down, played South Sevier first off. That was a tough game for us, just on our side, trying to get things together, working together type thing. I feel like we could have probably played them a lot closer than we did. Then we played Parowan, who is 22-0, incredible teams. We saw some volleyball players that we haven't seen that caliber of volleyball players before. Good learning experience for us, though. Fun to play and see teams like that. So that was good. And then the next morning we played North Sevier, another great volleyball team with some incredible skills. So and we showed up and played decent against them. So I was proud of our girls there. And then we came away with a win against Grantsville. We did a great job. And then South Summit, we ended up taking to 5. It was a tough game for us where we had Hannah injured and Violet's ankle hurting. So a couple of our big outsides were not physically well. So that was tough to come away from that tournament injured. So
that was going to lead me to a question that I had. Molly Weston, as a freshman, I thought she stepped in that, the final game of the Richfield tournament. As there's a lot of competition there, that's probably not the ideal spot for a freshman to step in and get a start. But I thought she handled herself really well.
Yeah, I agree completely. I was very proud of Molly. She did. She stepped in. She didn't fold. She got some good kills and passed balls. And yes, I was very proud of Molly and so grateful for her willingness to step in and to show up for that game.
So this upcoming week, first on Friday, you guys have Lyman. It's always an intense battle with Lyman. What are you looking forward to for that game on Friday?
I'm excited to see where we've come since we played them last. I feel like our team has improved in all areas. So to see our improvement and to play some more good competition.
So Saturday for you guys is senior night. This is your first as the head coach. Obviously, you were an assistant last year. What about senior night is special to you, and what about it is special for the girls?
I feel like it's a huge night just because these girls have put a lot of years into volleyball, and I think it should be a celebration for them. And to celebrate, I think, giving it their best and working hard and to play the game of their lives. So I'm excited for senior night for that reason, and I hope that they have a great time.
I want to thank Coach Nell Wasden for being a part of the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital pregame coaches show on the Summit Pizza pregame show. We come back, we'll have some Ellingford Brothers keys to today's matchup. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
When you're experiencing pain from an injury or pain for an unknown reason, it can negatively impact how you function every day. It's good to know that individually supervised physical therapy is available at Evanston Regional Hospital. From athletes to seniors, we assist patients with personalized treatment plans. We offer a broad range of therapies, including cardiac rehab, post-surgical rehab, concussion recovery, and sports rehab. Ask your family doctor if physical therapy is right for you, or call one of our therapy departments directly. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Quality is the one thing that you can always count on when you do business with Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. You always get high-quality products and friendly, knowledgeable service at Ellingford's. Stop in today, 199 County Road, Evanston.
At the Evanston Walmart, you'll find all the tools students need to succeed. Our team is committed to providing quality products and an excellent shopping experience. Stop in today, 125 North 2nd Street, Evanston. Walmart. Save money, live better.
The town of Garden City is home to beautiful Bear Lake, where families play together. We welcome you to Garden City and invite you to visit bearlake.org for places to explore and information on upcoming events year-round. The town of Garden City welcomes you as we cheer on the Rich Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for your Ellingford Brothers keys to today's matchup. And for the Rebels, get your track shoes on. This is going to be a fast-paced game. This is going to be an intense game, and I think it's going to be a fun game. As when we come back, we'll meet the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are Rich High School alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes just before it gets to your bottle. You see, at Little Spring Water, they don't add a thing. It's the purest, cleanest, and healthiest water you could possibly drink. It's nature in a bottle. Little Spring Water is a family-owned and operated bottled water company right here in Utah. Nestled in a beautiful canyon in Bear Lake, this spring has been in the family for 5 generations, and now it can be in yours as well. It's high-quality premium drinking water packaged in a durable, recyclable bottle that won't spill or crack on you and can be refilled multiple times. No chemicals, no additives, just pure, clean, healthy water. And because Little Spring Water is local, you can get it at a fraction of the cost. Look for Little Spring Water at a grocery store near you. If you don't see it, ask your grocer for it by name. Little Spring Water. It's nature in a bottle.
Hi, I'm Casey Wilson. I am going to be a senior this year, and I will be playing varsity setter.
Hi, my name is Naya Jolly. I'm going to be varsity opposite, which is right side, and I'll be a senior.
I'm Janie Valentine. I'm going to be a senior, and I will be a middle blocker on varsity.
My name is Hannah Scott. I'm going to be a senior, and I am playing varsity outside hitter.
Good, it's your girl Violet Taylor, a.k.a. V-Swizzle, and this year I'll be playing varsity outside.
My name is Ava Ellsworth. I play all around right side, and I'm a senior.
Hey, I'm Haiti Pugmire. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm playing middle blocker on varsity.
Hey, I'm Brinley Hatch. I'm going to be junior this year, and I play middle blocker.
Hi, I'm Cassie Argyle. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play outside hitter.
Hi, my name is Leah Peterson, and I'm going to be a sophomore, and I'm playing outside hitter.
Bella Wheeler. I'm a sophomore. I'm probably going to play opposite.
Paige Smith, sophomore, outside hitter.
My name is Tyler Pugmire. I'll be a sophomore, and I'm playing middle.
I'm Tess Cornia. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a setter.
I'm Avery Weston. I'm a sophomore, and I play opposite.
I'm Braylon Pugmire. I'm a freshman. I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Lacey McKinnon, and I'm a freshman, and I'm going to be middle hitter.
I'm Molly Weston, and I'm a freshman, and I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Jalen Lutz. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm a setter.
My name is Lida Taylor. I'm going to be a freshman, and I want to play middle hitter.
My name is Kelsey Heiner. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm going to be back left.
I'm Chaisley Levitt, and I'm going to be a freshman, and I think I'm going to play JV, in middle hitter.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it's time for your starting lineups, brought to you by Little Springs Water on the Summit Pizza Pregame Show. First for the Rebels, senior number 25, Violet Taylor. Number 21, senior Janie Wallentine. Number 41, senior Hannah Scott. Number 2, senior Ava Ellsworth. In the new uniforms, wearing number 2, as number 40, Haiti Pugmire as well, senior. Number 9, senior Casey Wilson. And number 15, sophomore Paige Smith. As those are your starting lineups for the Rich Rebels. So let's meet the starters for the Lyman Eagles. As for those Eagles, junior number 12, Delaney Walker. Sophomore number 18, Addison Smith. Junior number 8, Peyton Anderson. Junior number 25, Isabel Redmond. Oh, those are reserves, excuse me. Starting number 1, Owen Hansen. Number 3, Morgan Anderson. Number 5, senior Kenzie Lyman. Junior number 20, Addie Nelson. Senior number 21, Haley Eldridge. Senior number 6, Briley Bradshaw. And serving as the libero, number 32, Paige Rose, also a senior. As it is senior night here at Lyman High School, to reset the score. That was the final set score in set 3 of the JV game. What a match that was, as the Rebels JV volleyball team comes out on top 2-1 over the Lyman Eagles in what was a hard-fought 3-set game. As if the varsity match is anything like the JV match, we are in for a treat as the team slap hands underneath the net. As I'm Aaron Poling, thank you for joining us here from Lyman High School as I'm live in the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. I just want to thank all of our sponsors for being a part of today's broadcast and as a part of the broadcast all year long. As if you can believe it or not, tomorrow is the last regular season match for the Rebels varsity volleyball team. The last regular season match for the state tournament, as they'll get at least 2 games there for the Rebels. They're hoping to get 4 and be undefeated at UVU. Rebels will serve first, as it will be Hannah Scott to serve. She has that athletic tape on her shoulder. As I was talking to her earlier, said her shoulder is feeling a bit better. But for any of the Rebels, if they are injured or feeling slightly hurt, they are going to be pulled from this match, just because you don't want to to make injuries worse as we get to the final week of the state tournament. Scott with the ball in her hand. Smith's going to check in for Wallentine. As the floor official gets one last final check, as Hannah Scott gets the whistle. Ball is in the air. We are underway. Dug out by Rose. They go right away to Eldridge, left wing. She attacks too far, out of bounds across that right wing sideline. Rebels go on top 1-0 on the station on main scoreboard, as Scott will serve again. Eldridge, of course, is the player to look out for on this Lyman team, as she attacks the ball very well, leads them in kills. Eldridge receives. It's going to be bumped over by Hansen. Rebels dig it out with Smith. They go to Taylor, left wing. She attacks with the right hand. That's dug out for the moment by Rose. Played back to the middle of the floor for Eldridge as she attacks and finds the hardwood on an attack from the middle of the floor at the 10-foot line. 1-1 on the station on main scoreboard, as Argyle will check in for Scott. Morgan Anderson will serve. A couple of Andersons on this team. Received by Pugmire. Rebels go Taylor, left wing. She attacks. That one's deflected. Kept alive by Lyman. They set up Eldridge, left wing. She attacks. That is too far out of bounds across that back line. 2-1 on the station on main scoreboard, as Wallentine will check in for Smith. Pugmire will serve. Have that score backwards as Pugmire serve. Received by Rose. Eldridge, left wing attack. That finds the hardwood Either Haley Eldridge has killed the play with a kill or she's killed the play with it going out of bounds. That's just the type of dominant player that she is. As we are tied at 2s on the station on main scoreboard as Owen Hansen serves. Received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor left wing. She attacks, tips it high into the air, kept alive by Bradshaw. They go opposite side. This time that is Peyton Anderson, dug out by Wilson. Rebels go middle of the floor to Wallentyne, and she tips it over. Diving effort there from Bradshaw, keeps it alive as Eldridge attacks. That's off the arms of Taylor, out of bounds. 3-2 Eagles on the station on main scoreboard as Hansen will serve. Serve over, received by Argyle. Rebels play it to the side of the floor where Taylor bumps it over. Hansen with the dig. They set up middle of the floor. That's Addie Nelson. She finds the hardwood. Actually, that's going to be 2 hits out of bounds on the Rebels. No kill for Nelson. Diving effort to keep it alive to no avail. Only player with kills in the contest so far is Haley Eldridge, as she has 3. Serve receive by Argyle. Rebels go to Taylor on the left wing. She attacks and buries that one, as we'll check that out on the Stacey's Repair instant replay as Violet Taylor picks up her first kill. As she buries that one right in front of Paige Rose, middle of the back row. 4-3 on the station on main scoreboard as we go back to our live cam. Wilson serve, deflected in the air by the Eagles. Eldridge will attack from the 10-foot line, out of bounds across that back line. We are tied at 4s as Wilson will serve. Ball over, received by Eldridge. They're going to go right back to her on the left wing. She attacks. That's going to fall in off the deflection as Eldridge has 4 kills now already in the contest. 5-4 on the station on main scoreboard. Eagles on top. As Eldridge will now serve. Serve over, received by Smith, back to the Eagles side. Kept alive. Bradshaw will attack. That is tipped down by Wallentyne as give Janie a block right there. She picks up the point with a nice little deflection down to the floor. We are tied at 5s. As Scott will check back in, Argyle will check out. Taylor will serve. Received by Rose. Set up middle of the floor for Nelson. That is too far out of bounds across that back line, and the Rebels are on top 6-5 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Jump serve for Violet. Deflects off the net, kept alive by Rose. They go opposite side as that's Peyton Anderson. Her attempt is blocked back to the Eagles side. As another attempt blocked to the Eagles side. Rebels keep it alive. Unfortunately, hits the antenna. A little bit of self-defense there from Briley Bradshaw as she put her hands up to protect herself, or not necessarily to protect herself, put her hands up to deflect the ball, was able to go over to the Rebels side. On Casey Wilson's return, it hits the antenna. Rose's serve received by Smith. They go Scott on the outside. She attacks, deflected high in the air, received by Rose. They set up Eldridge back row, diving effort from the back line player Taylor to no avail as Eldridge has another kill. 7-6 on the station on main scoreboard. Eldridge has 5 kills already in the contest. It's her senior night, and the Eagles are feeding her from everywhere. Diving received by Taylor. Scott will attack left wing, 10-foot line, finds Eldridge in the back left corner. Set up middle of the floor. That's Morgan Anderson, kept alive by Smith as Wallentyne is going to be called for a lift. She tried to slap it over with her left hand. Called a lift. 8-6 on the station on main scoreboard. If you can believe it, tied for the biggest lead of the game so far as Rose's serve received by Smith. Rebels set up Wallentyne, middle of the floor. She attacks, block back to the Rebel side. Actually, that's into the net. And now we have the largest lead of the game at 9-6 as Rose will serve again. Jump serve from Rose, received by Smith in the middle of the back row. Rebels set up Ellsworth on the opposite side. Diving effort from Taylor to keep it alive. Diving effort from Smith goes into the bleachers on the right wing side. 10-6 on the station on main scoreboard as the Eagles have created a little bit of separation about midway through set 1. Rose with a serve. Received by Scott up into the ceiling as Taylor does a good job tracking that ball. Plays it to the middle of the floor for Wilson. Bumped over. Eldridge with the dig. As they set up middle of the floor, tip attempt, and they're going to call into the net against the Eagles. As that'll be called against number 3, Morgan Anderson. Pugmire in, Wallentyne out. As Smith will serve. 10-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Jump serve from Smith goes into the net. as 11-7 on the station on main scoreboard. In for the Eagles, Lyman, as she'll serve. She replaces Peyton Anderson. Serve over, received by Smith in the back left corner as Wilson tips it over, dug out by Lyman. They set up outside hitter Bradshaw that deflects off the net, bounces away from Ellsworth as she was underneath it off the tip on the net. Tough break for the Rebels. They trail 12-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Lyman will serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels go to the middle of the floor for Pugmire. She attacks, and that's too far out of bounds across the back line. 13-7 on the station on main scoreboard. That is the first attacking error against the Rebels here in the first set. As Pugmire was actually able to place that ball into the storage closet, as Kenzie Lyman had to go into the storage closet to find the ball. She finds it. We are ready to go. 13-7 Eagles. Serve over, received by Ellsworth. Wilson plays it to the middle of the floor as Scott bumps it over. Rose with a dig. Eagles set up middle of the floor for Morgan Anderson. That is deflected. They're going to call into the net against the Rebels, though. 14-7 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels need to try to break a little bit of this momentum that the Eagles have built up. It is a very raucous crowd here in Lyman as it is senior night. I'd imagine most of the football players stuck around for the volleyball game as that serve is out of bounds across that back line. That's the first time that the student section came alive for a Lyman serve as the Eagles hit it out of bounds. As Ellsworth will serve, ball over, received by a couple of Eagles. They go middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson. That's blocked back to the Lyman side, bumped over to the Rebels as they set up Scott left wing. She pushes it down that line with two hands. Rose with a good read, keeps it alive on main scoreboard as Haiti Pugmire picked up a block for the Rebels in that little frenzy that we had while the internet was out. As Pugmire will now serve. Taylor picks up her third kill of the contest. Serve over, received by Rose. They go middle of the floor to Eldridge. She attacks too far out of bounds across that back line. 16-13 on the station on main scoreboard. Pugmire will serve again. We appreciate you being patient as unfortunately our internet went out for a second. As Pugmire serve, received by Rose. They go middle of the floor to Eldridge. She attacks, that's blocked, but falls in on the Rebels' side. Another kill for Eldridge. 17-13 on the station on main scoreboard. 7 in the game for Eldridge. As Hansen will serve. As she checks in for Lyman. As that serve is on the back line. Falls in for an ace for Hansen. 18-13 on the station on main scoreboard as Hansen will serve again. Serve over, received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor left wing. She attacks with the right hand, deflects it high in the air, diving effort from Rose, keeps it alive. Eldridge will push it over as that's going to fall in for another kill. That time it looked like Eldridge was just trying to tap it over to get the ball back to the Rebels' side. And we're going to get a timeout called by the Rebels as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote. 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Rebels with some work to do here in set number 1, 19-13 on the station on main scoreboard. Eagles will serve with Hansen. As Rebels need to try to build some momentum here. The tail end of this set. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels play it to the middle of the floor as Taylor attacks from the left wing. That's going to fall in as Violet Taylor picks up the kill off the block. Off of one of the blockers. I believe that was number 20, Addie Nelson. Falls in on the Eagles side as Violet now has 4 kills as a serve over. Eagles a little trouble, but Eldridge is able to play it as Taylor will attack from the right wing. Kept alive by the Rebels. Pushed over by Argyle. Here comes the attack for the Eagles. Set up middle of the floor. Tip. kept high in the air by Taylor as that ball lands in the chair that Haiti Pugmire is sitting in. Tough break there for the Rebels. Good job, or good attempt from Taylor to try to keep that alive. 20-14 on the station on main scoreboard as Eldridge serves. That serve received by Smith. Rebels go Taylor left wing as she attacks right hand. That is too far out of bounds across that right wing sideline. 21-14 on the station on main scoreboard. Eldridge will serve again. Serve over. Received by Argyle, and that kept alive by Ellsworth as Wilson pops it over. Good job by Ava to keep it alive. Dump set is going to fall in. I believe that was Hansen with the dump set. She picks up her first kill of the contest. 22-14 on the station on main scoreboard. Eldridge will serve. Received by Smith. Rebels go Taylor left wing. She attacks as that's going to fall in, as we'll check that out on the Stacey's Repair instant replay. 22-15 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor picks up her 5th kill of the contest. Taylor serve received by Eldridge. An attack from Bradshaw, 10-foot line left wing, received by Wilson. As they set up Scott, she attacks left wing, keeps it alive, she pushes it over. An attack from the middle of the front, from the opposite side, off the hands of a front row defender for the Rebels, and it goes all the way out of bounds across the right wing sideline. 23-15, timeout called by the Rebels as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Ready has provided safety and excellence in industrial construction.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. Forgot that was not the end of the set. 23-15 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels looking to build momentum heading into set number 2. It's going to be tough to come back. You'd have to outscore the Eagles 10-1 here in the last little bit of this set. As Rose will serve, ball over. That goes into the net. That's a good start for the Rebels. 23-16 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Pugmire in, Wallenstein out. Jump serve from Smith, received in the back row by Bradshaw. They're going to go to the near side as that's tipped over by Morgan Anderson. Will fall in off the deflection from Pugmire. 24-16 on the station on main scoreboard as it's set point in the hands of Kenzie Lyman as she checks in for Peyton Anderson. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott left wing as she tips it over. Read well there by Morgan Anderson. It kept alive as they go right back to her. That's blocked. Eldridge pops it high in the air as Bradshaw will attack from the left wing. A tip falls in as that's going to be it here in set number 1 as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Ready has provided safety and excellence in industrial construction and support services since 1982. From insulation and scaffolding to paintings and coatings, our crews are standing by to assist with new construction, maintenance projects, facility shutdowns, and more. Contact us today to ensure your assets are protected and functional. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as we reset the station on main scoreboard. Eagles win that first set 25-16. Rebels looking to bounce back here in set number 2. As this is the second to last matchup of the regular season before we head to the tournament. Opportunity here for the Rebels to improve their RPI, as the RPI for 1A has been taken off the Utah RPI website, as I think they try to do that so that way teams aren't trying to manipulate the RPI, trying to find themselves a better matchup by either winning or losing. I don't think there's any team out there that's going to go out there and try to lose a game just to get a better position in the tournament, but they try to do that in sake of fairness. Remember the World Cup? This was a while ago. There's a couple of teams that were tied that weren't playing, or that were playing each other, and if they tied, both teams advanced to the world stage. Those two teams went out and they just passed the ball around for 90 minutes, not trying to attempt a score, just because if you would have lost, you'd have been out. Instead, they tied, and the other match was played at an earlier time, so that way those teams could do that. That's what they're trying to avoid, but I can't imagine there are many high school teams that are trying to lose games on purpose to try to affect their RPI. But the Rebels looking to get a win here to affect their RPI as they'll switch sides. Rebels will be on the right-hand side, Eagles on the left-hand side if you're watching on mylocalradio.com. If you're listening on 98.3 KADQ, if you're looking from the opposite side of the scorers table, the Rebels are on the right-hand side, the Eagles are on the left-hand side. Rebels in white breast cancer awareness jerseys, as they're wearing tank tops with sleeves. The Eagles are in pink jerseys with white numerals. As the official, there are no numbers on the front of the Rebels jerseys, so the Rebels have to turn their backs to the official. Wallenstein checks out, Smith checks in. Final checks on the Lyman side, as Owen Hansen will open up set number 2 with the serve. 1-0, Eagles over the Rebels as Hansen has the ball. Final instructions from the floor judge. Final instructions from the stand judge. Whistle blows. We are underway here in set number 2 as the serve is received by Taylor. Wilson can't quite get to that one as it goes into the net. An ace for Hansen to start the set, her second of the contest. Hansen will serve again. Ball over. That's going to be a diving receive by the Rebels, played over by Wilson. Good effort from the Rebels to keep it alive. They set up Eldridge on the left wing. She tips it high into the air as Argyle digs it out. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing. She attacks. That is off the arms, out of bounds as the Rebels tie it at 1 here in set number 2 as Taylor attacked the middle of the floor. We'll check that out on the Stacey's Repair instant replay. She makes a nice attack there, ties us at 1 here in set number 2. Pugmire will serve. Serve over. That is deflected off of Eldridge, out of bounds. Ball that looked like it was going to go out of bounds regardless. Haiti picks up the ace. Rebels pick up the lead 2-1 on the station on main scoreboard. First ace of the contest for the Rebels. Serve over. Received by Eldridge. As they're going to go right back to her on the left wing. She winds up, attacks. Argyle with a nice dig as Eldridge gets one on a platter. She tips it down on the left wing sideline. 2-2 on the station on main scoreboard as Cassie Argyle stood in there and took that attack right off the arms. Unfortunately, it went too far as Eldridge will serve. Received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing. She attacks with a tip. Read well there by Briley Bradshaw. They go right back to Bradshaw. She attacks as Ellsworth had to adjust, keeps it alive. Smith will have to play it all the way over to the net. Able to do so. What a job by Smith right there to keep it alive. Eagles set up Nelson as that's going to fall in. All that effort to no avail. 3-2 on the station on main scoreboard as Eldridge will serve. Right-handed serve, line drive over off the arms of Smith. That's off the basketball stand. They're going to say it's still alive as Taylor keeps it alive. Not sure how that play keeps going. Eagles set up on the outside as that's blocked. Hansen keeps it alive as another attack from Bradshaw falls in. Or they call into the net. against the Rebels. As that point kind of worked itself out, probably should have been out of bounds on the Rebels earlier in the set, as that's an ace for Eldridge, as that goes off of Argyle in the middle of the floor directly right to the Rebels bench, as Eldridge will serve again. 5-2, as that serve is out of bounds too far across that back line. 5-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as Wilson will serve. Let's go with the right hand, ball over. That is off the arms of Eldridge, and that will fall in. That's another ace for the Rebels, this time to Casey Wilson. Second of the contest for the Rebels, first for Wilson. She'll serve again. Serve over. That's another ace as that bounces off the arms of Eldridge again. 5-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Casey with her second ace in a row. Looking for three. Serve over, right hand, received in the back row by Bradshaw, tapped over by the Eagles. Rebels will set up with Taylor. She attacks. Hanson keeps it alive with the dig. Bradshaw will attack, tipped it over, and that falls in. Actually, it's going to be into the net against the Rebels. They call that on Ellsworth. 6-5 Eagles. As that into the net call probably robs Bradshaw of a kill. As Rose will serve. Right-handed jump serve received by Argyle. Middle of the floor as they set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks, it's deflected to the back row and down to the floor, as that's a block from Morgan Anderson. 7-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As that ball came off of the attack from Taylor, off of Anderson, and it landed on the back left corner, the opposite side of the floor where the attack was from, as that kind of shows how much power was on that attack, as that's going to fall in. Rebels get a second hit, so no ace for Rose. The attack off Argyle's arms. Wilson got a hand to it but couldn't keep it alive as the ball rolls into the Rebels bench. 8-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Rose serves, received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor left wing. She attacks, and that's going to fall in as Violet Taylor picks up another kill. 8-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Violet now has 7 kills as she'll serve. Argyle out, Scott in. Taylor with a jump serve, received by Bradshaw. They go right to Anderson as there's two attackers on that left wing side. Not sure if that's planned, but it worked out. 9-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Morgan Anderson's attack deflects off the front line down to the floor in the middle of the defense. 9-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Served by Lyman, received by Scott as Wilson tries to keep it alive. It goes over the Rebels bench, off the wall, out of bounds. 10-6, Eagles will serve again as Lyman lets it go. That is in on the near sideline. 11-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. (11-6), Lyman to serve again. That's Kenzie Lyman. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels set up the attack. They go to Ava Ellsworth on the opposite side. Lyman with the dig. Middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson, kept alive by Smith. Rebels set up the attack. Scott, as she lets it go. Rose with the dig in the middle of the back row. Eldridge is going to push it over with two hands as Smith taps it high in the air. Rebels go to Scott, left wing, 10-foot line. She attacks, kept alive in the back row by Rose. Rebels set up Scott, left wing, tips it, kept in the air by Bradshaw with the dig. They set up Hanson on the opposite side, received by Wilson. Rebels go to Scott, left wing. She attacks. Rose keeps that one alive in the middle of the floor. As Bradshaw attacks, that hits Casey Wilson's hands and goes out of bounds. 12-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as we got a timeout called by the Rebels. So you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com. 12-6 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels got to get something going here as they're being doubled up. They're down 1-0, as they only have 2 more tune-up matches before the state tournament. Kenzie Lyman will serve. Let's go with the right hand. Ball over, received by Scott. Rebels set up the attack to Scott on the left wing. As she attacks, that's kept alive. Actually, it's a lift called against the Eagles. 12-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels will serve with Smith. Jump serve from Smith. Received by Eldridge as Lyman just punches it over. Rebels set up their attack. Scott, left wing, lets it go. Deflected back to the Rebels side. Wilson with the dig. As they go right back to Scott, she pushes it over. As Morgan Anderson digs that out as Hanson will attack from the opposite side. That's out of bounds across that near sideline. 12-8 on the station on main scoreboard. As Paige Smith now has to chase the ball into the into the closet. As Smith has returned with the ball. She attacks with a right-handed jump serve. Eldridge with the receive. They go middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson. She tips it, and that's going to fall in. Seems like the Eagles have had about 6 or 7 tip kills. As Anderson picks up her first. Bradshaw with the serve. Smith with the receive. Rebels go middle of the floor to Pugmire. She attacks. That's off the arms of Hanson. Goes to the back row. Diving up from Rose to keep it alive. No avail, but she does touch the ball, as that is not officially a kill, but the Rebels, I'm sure, will take the point. Good attack from Pugmire as Ellsworth will serve. Lets it go. Received by Bradshaw as Hanson will attack. They're going to call a lift against the Eagles. Probably a good thing they did, as the Rebels' reception of that attack goes backwards off the wall. 13-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve again. Lets it go with the right hand. Ball over, received by Rose. An attack from Morgan Anderson on the opposite side. Finds Smith in the back right corner. Rebels will attack Scott, 10-foot line, left wing. That's deflected high in the air. It's going to fall as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 13-11 on the station on main scoreboard. That's her second of the contest. Ellsworth, serve again. As that's too far across that back line, out of bounds. 14-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Anderson, Morgan type, will serve. Right-handed jump serve from the middle of the floor. Received by Taylor in the back row, middle of the floor. They go Scott left wing. She attacks. That's blocked. As number 20, Addie Nelson, got her hands to that. 15-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Morgan Anderson will serve again. Serve over. Received by Smith. Rebel set up middle of the floor to Pugmire. He's going to have to bump it over, but finds the hardwood where the Eagles had evacuated the floor on the left wing side. Good attack there from Pugmire, using a little precision there. Picks up her first kill, 15-12, as Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve from Scott is received by Hanson. Set up middle of the floor to Eldridge. She attacks. That's off the front line, directly sideways. Eldridge picks up the kill, her 9th. As Owen Hanson will serve for the Eagles. Argyle checks in. Scott checks out. Hanson lets it go. Smith with the receive. Rebel set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks right hand. That's off of Hanson, out of bounds, as Violet Taylor picks up the kill. That is her 8th of the contest. As Pugmire will serve. Smith out. Wallenstein in. 16-13 on the station on main scoreboard. It's Pugmire serve, received by Eldridge. They go middle of the floor for Addie Nelson. That's going to go too far, out of bounds across that back line. 16-14 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again. Serve over by Pugmire, received by Eldridge. Bradshaw plays it back to the middle of the floor for Addie Nelson, who has to play it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. Dug out by Argyle in the middle of the back row as Taylor tips it. Diving effort to keep it alive. Another diving effort from Rose to no avail. Falls in on the Eagles side. 16-15 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again. Pugmire with the serve. That finds the back row as she lets a missile go with that left hand. And we're tied 16-16. Hades' second ace of the contest. Fourth for the Rebels as they've served the ball pretty well today. And we are tied at 16. Just a quick race to 9. Pugmire serve received by Rose. Eagles set up the attack middle of the floor to Eldridge as she lets it go too far out of bounds across the right wing sideline. Rebels on top 17-16 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Serve over received by Rose. Dump set. Kept alive by the Rebels. Good defense as Taylor reaches over, tips it down to the floor. Rebels in front by 2 now on the station on main scoreboard as that's going to force an Eagles timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as we are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as they lead 18-16 here in set number 2. They trailed 1-0 in the match. Serve received in the back row by Bradshaw. An attack from Nelson kept alive. Rebels go to Ellsworth as she bumps it over. We're going to get a lift called against the Rebels before that, though. 18-17 on the station on main scoreboard. Eldridge will serve. Serve with a low line drive. Had some smoke behind that one. She hits everything hard. Received by Argyle. Rebels go to Taylor left wing. Tips it over. Rose with a dig. Set up Addie Nelson middle of the floor. That finds Ellsworth. Rebels on the attack. Left wing for Taylor. That's blocked. Down to the floor by Nelson, and we are tied 18-18 on the station on main scoreboard. Eldridge will serve again, as that's going to go too far out of bounds as Ava Ellsworth plays a little limbo to get out of the way of that serve. 19-18 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels will serve with Wilson. Lets it go. Received by Eldridge. Played to the opposite side where it's played over by Bradshaw. Rebels set up their attack. They go Taylor. 10-foot line. She'll push it over. Eagles dig it out. Middle of the floor to Bradshaw. She attacks. That's too far out of bounds across the back line as she unloaded on that ball. 20-18 on the station on main scoreboard. Multiple Eagles hit the ball super hard. Wilson's serve is going to go out of bounds across the left wing sideline. 20-19 on the station on main scoreboard. Morgan Anderson in. Addie Nelson out. Rose will serve for the Eagles. Kept alive. Tipped down to the floor by Morgan Anderson as she picks up the block. As we're going to get a timeout called, we're going to get a substitution by the Rebels as we are tied 20-20 here in set number 2. As that serve results in a violation for a point for the Rebels. As I was checking my stat sheet, I apologize there. Taylor with the serve, received by Bradshaw in the back row as they set up Morgan Anderson on the left wing, deflected off the arms of Casey Wilson out of bounds, and we are tied again at 21 as Peyton Anderson out, Kenzie Lyman in. 21-21 as Lyman will serve. Lyman the player, that is. Also Lyman the team. Ball over, received by Scott. Rebels set up the attack to Ellsworth on the opposite side. She finds Lyman in that back left corner. Bradshaw will set up an attack. That's blocked by the Rebels in the front row, kept alive. Dump set by Hanson. As the Rebels pick it up, they're going to play it over with Taylor in the middle of the back row. An attack, middle of the floor. Morgan Anderson, a tip, kept alive by Smith back in the middle of the floor. Tipped back down by Anderson, as when Paige tried to play it, she played it over the net. 22-21, Eagles back on top here in set number 2. As Lyman will serve. Waiting on the final instruction from the stand judge. We are ready to go. She lets it go. Received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the 10-foot line on the left wing. Dug out in the back by Rose. Set up Bradshaw as she misplayed. That one was misplayed. Played over to the Rebels. Rebels go to Scott left wing. She attacks too far out of bounds across that back line. 23-21. As we're going to get a timeout called by the Rebels. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious, and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. 23-21, Eagles on top of the Rebels here in set 2. 1-0 in sets for the Eagles, as the Rebels looking to claw back into this one. As Lyman will serve. Couple of dribbles awaiting the whistle. We are ready to go. Her serve received by Smith. Rebels set up. Scott left wing. She attacks. It's deflected to the floor as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 23-22. Rebels cut the lead to 1. Scott with her 3rd kill of the match. Smith with a jump serve. It's over. Received by Eldridge. They set up Eldridge on the left wing. She attacks. Finds Smith back row. Rebels set up. Scott left wing. Her attack deflected to the floor, and we are tied at 23 here in this set. This has been an incredible set of volleyballs. We're going to get another timeout called, this time by the Eagles, as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
Welcome back to Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as we're in the middle of set number 2. 23-23 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as the Rebels looking to take set number 2 here. It'd be their first set victory over the Eagles, as so far the Eagles have won in sets 4-0 in both matches so far, as we're here in set number 2 in the second match of the season. As Smith has the ball in her hands, whistle blows. Smith with the right-handed jump serve, releases, received by Eldridge. As Eldridge will attack middle of the floor, finds Violet Taylor middle of the back row for the Rebels. They'll go to Scott on the left wing. She attacks. Morgan Anderson reads it nicely. They go to Bradshaw. She has to adjust. Tipped high in the air. Wilson's underneath it. Ellsworth keeps it alive as Smith will play it over. Eagles look to set up their attack. They do. They go to the middle of the floor, tipped high in the air. Nice read by Wilson to keep it alive, as Taylor is going to push it over. I think they're trying to set her up back row. No avail as they set up Bradshaw left wing. She attacks that, goes into the net. And don't look now, but the Rebels have set point here in set number 2. And what has been a very, very great set. As Smith will serve. Her serve over, received by Eldridge. Over to the Rebel side and out of bounds. Rebels win set number 2, 25-23 in a back and forth, hard-fought set. Rebels tied up 1-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As I'm Aaron Poling, thank you for joining us here from Lyman High School as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. We also want to shout out any Lyman Eagle fans out there watching this game as it is senior night, and we appreciate you tuning in as well, as when we come back, we'll have set number 3.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com as we adjust the station on main scoreboard. Rebels win set number 2, and we are tied 1-1 as we reset the scoreboard. Heading to set number 3, the Eagles won set 1, 25-16. Rebels win set 2, 25-23, aided along by a 12-4 run. After it was 12-6, Rebels called a timeout. The Eagles end up calling the next timeout at 18-16 with the Rebels on top. Eagles use that timeout to claw their way back out in front. Rebels call timeout at 23-21. We're able to score the next 4 points to win this one 25-23, as it's been a pretty contested affair. It's kind of what you expect when you watch these two teams play. Hasn't quite had the pace of the first game, as looked like they were going to play I thought they were going to do an in-game contest. Instead, they picked the pizza box up. It does not look like they are going to do it. Instead, Rebels will get the first service. Scott will serve first for the Rebels. We're tied 1 set apiece for each team as Rose onto the floor for the Eagles. Let's set the floor. First for the Eagles, they'll be on the right-hand side in this set. If you are watching across from the scorer's table, you have number 8, Peyton Anderson, Addie Nelson, Haley Eldridge, Paige Rose, Owen Hansen. Trying to see who that player is in the middle of the back row. Looks like number 6, Briley Bradshaw for the Rebels, as Smith checks in for Wallenstein. It's Scott, Smith, Ellsworth, Wilson, Taylor, Pugmire, the 6 on the floor for the Rebels. Whistle blows, and set 3 is underway as Scott serve received by Eldridge. They're going to set her up on the left wing as she attacks too far out of bounds across that back line. Rebels on top, 1-0. Scott will serve again. Attacks with that right hand. Ball over. That's too far out of bounds across that right sideline. 1-1 on the station on main scoreboard as the Eagles will serve with Eldridge. Scott out. Argyle in. As Eldridge lets that serve go. Received by Smith. Rebel set up Taylor, left wing, right hand, deflected high in the air. Rose, lunging effort, keeps it alive, middle of the back row as Bradshaw will attack. Tipped over. Ellsworth plays it on the short side right wing as Wilson with a dump set. Tipped right back by the Eagles as Pugmire will attack for the Rebels. That's kept alive for the moment by Hansen. Pushed over on a lift. So the Rebels will pick up the point as Addie Nelson, just trying to get her hand on it to deflect it over the net, is called for the lift as Eldridge out. Pugmire serves. We're going to get a timeout called as they're going to go to the scorer's table, the floor judge. As it's actually number 18, Addison Smith, who checked in for Eldridge. So talking it over on the floor. The whistle was blown for an official timeout as the floor judge wanted to go talk it over with the scorer's table. As they're going to reset, do it again. As Pugmire. Couple bounces in the left hand, or with their left hand. Ball over, received. Middle of the back row by Rose. They set up Bradshaw at the 10-foot line as Argyle with the dig. Middle of the back row, set up Taylor left wing. She attacks, deflected high in the air, kept alive for the moment. Another lift called, this time against Bradshaw, and the Eagles cannot believe it. 3-1, Pugmire with the serve. Ball over, received by Rose. They go to the outside for Bradshaw. That's off the line, kept alive by the Eagles. Played over, received by Argyle, middle of the back row. Rebels go Taylor left wing. She attacks right hand. That's off of Taylor, kept alive. Eagles play it to Bradshaw. She pushes it over. Taylor with the diving effort keeps it alive as Wilson plays it back to the middle of the floor where Taylor bumps it over. Eagles set up their attack. They go middle of the floor. Addie Nelson, as that goes right over the head of Ava Ellsworth, finds the hardwood on the right-hand side of the floor as Nelson picks up the kill. It's her third of the game. Serve from Rose. Received by Argyle. As it goes too far, tipped down. One of the easiest kills Peyton Anderson might receive in her volleyball career, as there was no one on that side of the floor for the Rebels when the receive went awry. She taps it down. Picks up the kill. 3-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Argyle, another receive as Taylor diving effort keeps it alive. Rose in the back row gets the dig. They set up Peyton Anderson as she attacks. That's going to be tipped over by Casey Wilson. Give her the dump set kill. As Wilson starting to do that more often with more efficiency here towards the end of the season. She's doing a better job of keeping her shoulder squared to her teammates and attacking as she lets a line drive go. That's off the shoulder of Bradshaw, out of bounds. Rebels go on top 5-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Casey's done a nice job with dump set. She's also done a nice job serving with 3 aces. Lets it go. Bradshaw with the attack. Kept alive, punched over by the Eagles. Diving effort from Argyle, keeps it alive in the back row. Taylor will tip it over. Good read by Hanson as Taylor taps it with the left hand. Gets another attempt at it. Third time not the charm as Rose digs it out. Bradshaw will push it over. Wilson with the dig. Played to the middle of the floor where Ellsworth will bump it over. Dug out back right corner by Peyton Anderson. Set up Morgan Anderson. Argyle with the dig. Wallenstein will attack 10-foot line. Pushes it over. Finds Rose middle of the back row. Bradshaw on the left wing attacks off of Smith. Into the net called against, I believe, the Rebels. Yes, as that was Ellsworth they call on it. 5-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Lyman will check in. Peyton Anderson will check out. Serve over. Received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing. She attacks the right hand. Tips it, didn't get enough of it. 5-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as that ball hits the net, lands in on the Rebels side. As Lyman, number 5 for the Eagles, will serve at 5-5 here in set number 3. Ball over. Received by Argyle, middle of the back row. Played to the middle of the floor where Wallenstein will reverse bump it to Rose, middle of the back row for the Eagles. They set up the attack. Morgan Anderson, that's off the front line, out of bounds as the Eagles take the 6-5 lead on the Station on Main scoreboard as Lyman will serve again. The ball deflected off the front line player, I believe that was Wallenstein, and went directly to the Rebels' left towards their bench. Serve over. Received by Argyle. Rebels set up the attack. They go to Taylor, left wing, right hand. That's deflected high in the air, kept alive. Pushed over to the Rebels' side where Ellsworth digs it out, middle of the front row. Pushed over by Wallenstein. They set up the attack. Middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson. That goes into the net. That'll be the 4th hit as the Eagles tip it over. 6-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott in, Argyle out. Taylor will serve. Ball over. Received by Smith for the Eagles. That attack from Hanson goes too far out of bounds across the back line. Rebels pick up the point. Taylor will serve again as that one's going to go too far out of bounds across that back line. 7-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Smith out, Eldridge in for the Eagles. Bradshaw to serve. Received by Smith. Rebels go to Scott on the left wing. She attacks the right hand. That's too far out of bounds across the back line. 8-7 Eagles on the station on main scoreboard. Bradshaw will serve again. Serve over, as that's off the elbow of Smith. That'll be an ace for Bradshaw. 9-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Bradshaw the serve, ball over, received by Scott. They set up Ellsworth on the opposite side. That's blocked down to the floor as Morgan Anderson picks up the block. 10-7 on the station on main scoreboard as the Eagles have gone on a bit of a run here. Rebels looking to turn the tide. Bradshaw will serve again. Received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She's going to have to punch it. It goes into the net. 11-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Bradshaw will serve again. Serve over. Received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks with the right hand as that's off of Rose, out of bounds, as Scott picks up her 5th kill of the contest. 11-8 on the station on main scoreboard. Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve over the net. Received by Eldridge. They go back to Eldridge on the left wing. She'll attack from the 10-foot line. Hits the net. Smith gets underneath it. Ellsworth has to play it out of the net as the Rebels will bump it over. Eagles look to set up their attack. They do. Eldridge left wing. That's blocked by the Rebels. I believe Pugmire got her hands to it as Hanson will attack from the opposite side. Smith digs it out for the Rebels back row. Scott left wing attack. That's too far out of bounds across the back line. 12-8 on the station on main scoreboard. As Morgan Anderson will serve. Right-handed jump serve received by Taylor, middle of the back row. Rebels set up Scott, left wing, attached to that right hand that is kept alive by Bradshaw. They play it back to Anderson, who tries to push it over, doesn't get enough of that one. 12-9 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels have to be careful there. They almost got into the net called on a ball that didn't reach their side. Ellsworth will serve into the net as the Rebels give the ball right back, 13-9. Peyton Anderson checks in. Kenzie Lyman checks out. Hanson will serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing, 10-foot line. She attacks too far out of bounds across that back line. The Rebels attack has looking to hone it back in as Hanson serve over the net, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Pugmire on the outside. She attacks. That falls in as Haiti Pugmire picks up the kill. 14-10 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels switch up the attacker there. I mean, they kept going to Scott, so I imagine probably trying to give that arm a little bit of a rest as it won't get much of one as she serves. Received by Rose. They go to Eldridge, left wing. She attacks. That's deflected off the front line and down to the floor. 15-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Argyle will check in. Scott will check out. Eldridge will serve. Eldridge lets the serve go. Received by Smith. Rebels set up their attack. Taylor on the left wing. Tips it over. Bradshaw gets her arms to it. Front left row. An attack from Eldridge. She nearly runs into a teammate. It's going to end up in a kill. Give her 11 in the contest. She'll serve again. 16-10 on the station on main scoreboard. Pugmire with the receive as Taylor goes nearly into the bench to keep it alive. Rebels miscommunication there. 17-10 on the station on main scoreboard. Those last 2 points are strictly due miscommunication from the Rebels. They got to communicate better. As we're getting towards the end of the season, their communication has improved, but needed to improve a little bit more as they go Taylor left wing. She'll attack. That falls to the floor. 17-11 on the station on main scoreboard. Taylor with her 10th kill of the contest. As Eldridge will check out, Smith will check in. As Pugmire will serve. Over. Off the arms of Bradshaw. Smith keeps it alive as Bradshaw reverse bumps it over to the Rebels. Ellsworth digs it out back row, right wing. They go Taylor on the left wing. She attacks, kept alive by Rose. in the back left corner. Bradshaw will attack from the left wing. That dances on the net, kept alive by Wilson as they go to Taylor. She'll bump it over. Eagles looking to set up their attack as they go to the outside. Kept alive by Morgan Anderson. That went around the antenna, actually, as good effort there from actually that was Peyton Anderson trying to keep that ball alive. 17-12 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again. Serve over, received by Rose. Hanson goes to Bradshaw. She attacks, deflected off the net, over the front line, down to the floor as Bradshaw picks up the kill. 18-12 on the station on main scoreboard. Eagles will serve. Rose with the right-handed jump serve, received by Argyle as Wilson tries to tip it over. That's killed to the floor by Morgan Anderson. Rebels got to do a better job receiving serves as Scott's going to check in. Argyle's going to check out. Rose with the serve, received by Taylor. Rebels go right back to Taylor on the left wing. She attacks too far out of bounds across the sideline. 20-12 on the station on main scoreboard as we're going to get a timeout called by the Rebels as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Buying or selling real estate can be fun, especially when you have a realtor that's working hard on your behalf. Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty have unparalleled industry knowledge, experience, and local expertise. The team at Bear Lake Realty will work to get you the best price. Whatever you're looking for, buying or selling, residential, commercial, year-round living, half shares, quarter shares, or income property, hire the best real estate company, Bear Lake Realty. Log on today, bearlakerealty.com.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. It is time for the Gare Bear Fan Cam, brought to you by broker Gary McKee in Bear Lake Realty. For all your realty needs, call 435-946-8888. That's your realty needs in Bear Lake. Or visit bearlakerealty.com. When you need a realtor, choose the best in Gary McKee and Bear Lake Realty. As we go back to our live cam, 20-12 on the station on main scoreboard as Rose will serve. Received by Scott. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, attacks with the right hand. That is received by Rose, middle of the back floor. Bradshaw will attack left hand. Tipped. Ellsworth with a dig. Taylor, left wing, right hand attack. That falls in. As we'll check that out on the station repair. Instant replay as Violet Taylor picks up another kill. This time it's her 11th of the contest. Wilson will serve. Over, received by Bradshaw. As Peyton Anderson bumps it over. Scott digs it out middle of the back row. Taylor will attack, finds the... No, they say that's out of bounds. As the Rebels bench cannot believe it. As that looked pretty in bounds. But flag judge had a better view. 21-13 on the station on main scoreboard. As that serve goes into the net. So if it was out of bounds, the volleyball... Let's say Volleyball Karma has corrected it as it's 21-14 on the station on main scoreboard. Taylor will serve. Received by Smith on the Eagle side. Middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson. Winds up, taps it, throws the changeup. Scott with the dig. They set up Ellsworth outside. That falls in as Ava Ellsworth picks up the kill. 21-15 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels looking to mount a little bit of a comeback here in set number 3. As they trail 21-15. We are tied 1-1 in sets as Rose with a dig. They go middle of the floor to Anderson. She attacks. That's kept alive by Taylor. What a play that was by Violet. Scott will push it over from the 10-foot line on the left wing. Dug out middle of the back row. Bradshaw will attack as that one is deflected, but no avail as Taylor can't quite get to that one. 22-15 on the station on main scoreboard. As the Rebels will take another timeout. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in at 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're recovering from an injury, just had surgery, or you're dealing with a chronic condition, Evanston Regional Hospital Physical Therapy will help you every step of the way to reach your goals and get back to doing what you love. In addition to the top-of-the-line facilities, we are the only physical therapy clinic in Southwest Wyoming with a full-size therapy pool and spa for aquatic-based treatment. Call today to schedule an appointment. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Your Troubles varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. As 22-15, Eagles on top. Rebels looking to mount a comeback, build a little momentum heading into the fourth set. As Smith checks out, Bradshaw checks in for the Eagles. Bradshaw will serve. Make that Eldridge who checked in. Sorry, as Bradshaw will serve. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the 10-foot line. She'll just bump it over. Rose with the dig, middle of the back row. Eldridge left wing attack that's off the front line, down to the floor. 23-15 on the station on main scoreboard. As Bradshaw will serve again. Serve over, or excuse me, serve into the net. 23-16 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels will serve with Smith as Wallenstein checks out. Pugmire checks in. Smith, the right-handed jump serve, received by Rose. Set up Anderson, middle of the floor. She attacks. That's out of bounds across that back line. 23-17 on the station on main scoreboard. Smith will serve again. Smith with a jump serve, received by Eldridge. We go middle of the floor to Anderson. She tips it high in the air. Smith's able to get to it, but no one else can. 24-17 on the station on main scoreboard. Morgan Anderson with set point in her hand. Now she'll let it go with the right-handed jump serve. Ball over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks. That's off the front line, out of bounds. 24-18 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels aren't going down yet, as that's Scott's 6th kill of the contest. Ellsworth will serve. Ball over, received by Hanson. They set up Eldridge, left wing. She attacks, and that's going to fall in. As it's 25-18, will be the final score, set number 3, as you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. As we head to a commercial break, we'll be right back with set number 4.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming coverage of high school rodeo from Utah and Wyoming, as well as the Intermountain Icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com. We head to set number 4. Eagles on top, 2-1. Rebels looking to push to set number 5 here as they won set 2. Eagles win set number 1, 25-16. Rebels win set 2, 25-23. Eagles win set 3, 25-18. It's got about 1:30 left to go before the start of set number 4, and for the Rebels, you want to keep playing hard. You want to try to push this one to 5. Once you get to set 5, you really never know what can happen. For the Eagles, they went to set 5 last night, or the other night, excuse me, with Lander, and ended up losing in 5 sets. So I don't think the Eagles want to go to set 5. For the Rebels, you got to imagine that they're going to unload everything they have for the Eagles, as they probably want to end this one in 4. As back-to-back nights with set 5, I think they're going to play again this week, as it's been quite the schedule for the Eagles so far this week. So if you're the Rebels, you want to try to push it to 5. See what you can do. I mean, you're on the road. You've taken 1 set from them, so you can do it. It's doable. You've already proven that you can do it. See what the Rebels come up with here in set number 4 as they hit the floor. 6 on the floor for the Rebels will be Pugmire, Ellsworth, Wilson, Scott, and eventually Smith when they do their final checks, as she'll check in for Janie Wallentyne. You're worried about the Rebels being tight. It looks like they're about to start the Cupid Shuffle. Or no, they're actually turning around to show the official their jersey numbers. My bad. But I mean, they're dancing around in between sets. They're definitely not tight. They're not letting things get to them, which is great. You love to see that out of a team. And they're dancing around. That's not them not being focused. I think that's just them staying loose as, you know, it's probably a much better volleyball player when, you know, you're not tight, you're loose, and you're ready to go. Because if you're kind of tightened up, it seems like every time you tighten up just a little bit, that ball is exploding off your arms out of bounds. Bradley Bradshaw will start set number 4 as that serve goes into the net. Rebels on top 1-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Same thing with the Eagles. They were dancing on their side as well. As I think it's just a good way to stay loose as Pugmire serves for the Rebels. Received by Rose. They set up Eldridge on the left wing. She attacks, gets on top of that one into the net. Rebels on top 2-0 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve again. Pugmire serve over, received by Eldridge, kept alive. It's actually going to be a lift on Rose. I believe they call that on Rose. As Eldridge tried to receive the serve, it bounced off of her hands right to Rose. As Pugmire will serve as that goes out of bounds across that right wing side. 3-1 on the station on main scoreboard as Nelson will check in for Rose. So Rose Libero will be back in shortly. Morgan Anderson to serve for the Eagles. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels are going to set Taylor up on the left wing. She tips it over, diving effort by Lyman keeps it alive. Eldridge will attack middle of the floor as Scott got her arms to it. It falls in. 3-2 on the station on main scoreboard. By my count, that is kill number 13 for Eldridge. Again, these are unofficial stats. Serve over, received by Scott in the back row. Rebels set up Taylor left wing. She pushes it over. Bradshaw back row middle. Dig. As another diving effort from Ellsworth keeps it alive off the Eldridge attack. Rebels play it back over. Here comes the Eagles attack. They go to the opposite side for Hanson. That's kept alive by Smith. Rebels set up their attack to Wallentyne, middle of the floor. She tips it. Kept alive by Morgan Anderson. Eldridge will attack left wing as that's a nice dig there by Ellsworth. They go Taylor left wing. She attacks, finds the hardwood. As we'll check that out on the Stacy's Repair instant replay as Violet Taylor picks up her 12th kill. As you can see, she picked that back line on the near side. As we go back to the live cam, Taylor with kill 12. Serve over by Wilson, received by Bradshaw. Eldridge on the left wing will attack as that's deflected out of bounds by the front line. Another kill for Eldridge, 4-3 on the station on main scoreboard as that is Eldridge. I think that's her 14th kill of the contest. She had 7 right off the bat early on in the game. Hanson will serve, received by Scott. Rebels go to Taylor left wing as she attacks right hand. That's deflected off the front line out of bounds as Violet Taylor now has 13 kills. 5-4 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels will send Taylor to serve. Taylor with the right-handed jump serve, ball over, received by Eldridge. They're going to go right back to her on the left wing, and she unloads. That's deflected high in the air. Rebels get underneath it. They go to Scott, left wing. She attacks, finds the hardwood. As that's 6-3 on the station on main scoreboard. Another kill for Scott. That's her 7th. As Taylor will serve again. 6-3 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels on top. Here in set number 4. Serve received by Eldridge. They go middle of the floor to Nelson. Lift called against the Eagles. Rebels pick up the point as Taylor will serve again. As that serve hits the net, Taylor didn't quite get all of that one. 7-4 on the station on main scoreboard as Eldridge will serve. It'll be interesting after this rotation to see what they do with Eldridge's last set. They subbed her out as Taylor with the serve receive. They go to Scott. She'll bump it over from the 10-foot line. Received by the Eagles. They go to Bradshaw. Deflected high in the air as Wilson gets underneath it. Rebels set up Scott on the 10-foot line left wing. She attacks. That's off of Eldridge. Kept alive by Rose. Good hustle as she runs to the back of the court. Rebels miscommunicate there 7-5 on the station on main scoreboard. That was a reverse bump over from Owen Hansen from the back line of the court. The Rebels are unable to play back. They have to. Goes back to communication there as they get the ball. Scott will attack. That's blocked in. And don't look now. After the miscommunication, 2 points in a row for the Eagles. Now they're back in this one. That's why it's important to communicate. As you give up a point in volleyball, it seems like it avalanches on you. Hansen serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up the opposite side for Ellsworth. She attacks, is deflected high in the air to Rose. Peyton Anderson will attack from the outside. That goes too far out of bounds across the back line. 8-6 on the station on main scoreboard. Indeed, they are going to sub out Eldridge for Smith on the Lyman sideline. As Smith for the Rebels will serve. Ball over, received by the Eagles, played backwards. They're going to have to bump it over. They're able to do so. Pugmire digs it out middle of the front row. They set up the attack. Scott will tip it over. Bradshaw keeps it alive. They're going right back to her on the left wing as she winds up attacks. That goes into the net. As Haiti Pugmire makes sure to show the referee she didn't touch the ball. 9-6 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Jump serve over, received by Bradshaw. They're going right back to Bradshaw on the left wing as she attacks. That's blocked, kept alive by Rose. As that attempt is blocked again by Pugmire, but the Eagles are able to play it over. Rebels set up the attack to Scott as she'll attack that hit the antenna out of bounds. 9-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Nelson out, Morgan Anderson in as Rose will serve. Right-handed jump serve. Received by Taylor. Rebels set up opposite side for Ellsworth. That's blocked out of bounds as Taylor went to dive after her. She reached her arm back underneath her. Dangerous play, but she got out of the way of the ball. 10-7 on the station on main scoreboard as that's deflected out of bounds. That actually goes down as a kill for Ava Ellsworth. Her second kill. She'll serve now. Ball over, received by Rose. They go to Bradshaw. She'll attack middle of the floor, 10-foot line. That goes into the net, 11-7 on the station on main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve again. Serve over, received by Smith for the Eagles. As they set up Anderson, that's deflected down, blocked by Haiti Pugmire. As she's been a menace at the front of the net here in set number 4. It's technically her second block of the game, but she's got her hands to a couple more to keep them on that Eagles side. Ellsworth will serve. That one's going to go too far out of bounds across the back line as Ava got a little too much of that one. 12-8 on the station on main scoreboard. Peyton Anderson checks out. Kenzie Lyman will check in. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up middle of the floor to Pugmire. She tips it over. Diving up from Hansen keeps it alive. Morgan Anderson will bump it over. Smith with the dig, back left corner. Rebels go to Scott, left wing attack. Kept alive by Rose in the middle of the back row. Bradshaw will attack from the left wing. She tips it over. Scott with a nice dig from the front row. Pugmire will attack with the left hand. That falls in as Haiti Pugmire finds the hardwood. We'll check that out on the Stacey's Repair instant replay. Great attack there from Pugmire. As you can see, that ball lands just inside the 10-foot line on the right wing. As Scott will serve. Serve over. Received by Bradshaw. Kept alive by Lyman as Anderson tips it over. A couple of Rebels dive into each other. Hopefully they're all right as Ellsworth keeps it alive. Eagles set up the attack. Middle of the floor to Anderson as that falls in on the hardwood. More importantly for the Rebels, it looks like Hannah Scott and Violet Taylor are okay as they dove into each other. Love to see them going after the ball as Hansen's going to check in for Smith. 13-9 Rebels on the station on main scoreboard as they trail 2-1 in sets. Serve from Bradshaw, received by Smith. Rebels look to set up the attack as they go to Taylor, left wing. She'll have to bump it over. Diving effort from Rose to keep it alive. A couple of Eagles nearly run into each other as Bradshaw plays it over. That receive from Pugmire goes over the net as that is blasted to the floor. Eagles pick up the point, 13-10 on the station on main scoreboard. So I believe that was, it's hard to tell. As Bradshaw will serve, received by Smith. Rebels go to Taylor, left wing. She attacks. That's kept alive by the Rebels as Taylor tries to play it over again. Kept alive. Taylor plays it back to the middle of the floor where Ellsworth will bump it over. Eagles set up their attack. They go Bradshaw left wing as she unloads on that one out of bounds across the back line. 14-10 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels will serve. Wallenstein in, Smith out. Pugmire will serve for the Rebels. Serve off the net, kept alive by Eldridge. It's going to be bumped over by Rose. The Rebels dig it out, middle of the floor, go to Taylor, left wing. She attacks, kept alive as Taylor bumps it back over. Eagles set up their attack. Dump set attempt from Lyman, read well by Ellsworth, as Taylor will push it over from the left wing. As that falls in on the Eagles' side. I'm not sure if Taylor got her fingertips on it. 15-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Serve over, received by Rose. They set up Eldridge on the left wing. She tips it, no one home for the Rebels. Oh, they're saying that ball hit the floor. Coach Wasden doesn't jump out of her chair much like that. I do not think. I think the Rebels thought they got to that one. I think the Eagles did too, as they played that in the back corner. 15-11 though. Serve over, received by the Rebels. They go to Taylor, and if there is volleyball karma, Rebels get that point right back. 16-11 on the station on main scoreboard. As Taylor with another kill, give her 14 in the contest. Wilson serves, received by Rose. They go to Eldridge, left wing. She tips it over. Diving effort kept alive by Wilson as the Rebels are able to play it over. Eagles set up their attack again. They go Eldridge, this time with the power. Finds the hardwood between Scott and Taylor on the left wing side. 16-12 on the station on main scoreboard, as that's a tough play to stop right there. If Eldridge can attack the ball like that with that amount of steam on it, with that accuracy, not much you can do defensively. As Hanson serves, received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack. They go Taylor left wing as she lets it go. Diving effort, but to no avail as Violet Taylor picks up another kill. 17-12 on the station on main scoreboard, as that is now 15 kills for Taylor. After the kill, Taylor will serve. 12-7 on the station on main scoreboard. Jump serve, received in the back row by Bradshaw. They set up Eldridge, left wing. She tips it, kept alive. Diving effort by Scott. Unfortunately, the Rebels aren't able to play it back, as a couple of players tapped it after the diving effort, but couldn't quite get all of it, as when Scott dove for it. Eldridge will serve, received by Smith. Rebels go to Scott, middle of the floor. She'll bump it over. Rose with the dig. Eagles set up their attack, left wing for Bradshaw. She unloads. That's out of bounds on that right wing sideline. 18-13 on the station on main scoreboard, as Smith will serve. Wallenstein out, Pugmire in. Smith with the right-handed jump serve over the net, received in the back row by Eldridge. Bradshaw on the left wing attacks. That's out of bounds across the back line. 19-13 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels up by 6, and that's going to force a timeout from the Eagles sideline. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious, and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful Blue Water and Bear Lake Raspberry Shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com, as well as on 98.3 KDQ. 19-13, Rebels on top here in set number 4. Lyman on top, 2-1 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels looking to salt this one away and force a set 5. Smith will serve. Six on the floor for the Rebels. Pugmire, Scott, Ellsworth, Wilson, Taylor, Smith, who lets the serve go, received by Eldridge. They go middle of the floor to Nelson. She attacks, finds the back corner. That's a really good attack there from Nelson. It's a great job trying to halt the Rebels' momentum. Did it perfectly there from the middle of the floor to that back left corner. As Nelson with precision. Rose will serve. Right-handed serve over the net, received by Scott. As Wilson plays it back to the middle of the floor for Taylor, who plays it over. Eldridge with the dig, middle of the back row. Set up Morgan Anderson as she attacks. Deflected as Taylor gets it high in the air. Rebels underneath it as Scott will bump it over from the left wing. Rose with the dig. They set up Bradshaw. She attacks. That's off of Taylor. Back to the Lyman sideline. What a dig by Taylor. They go Anderson. She tips it high in the air. Smith digs it out as Wilson will reverse bump it over. Rose with a dig. Eagles set up the attack again. Bradshaw, this one time into the net as Pugmire tried to keep it alive. It falls in. 19-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Since the timeout, the Eagles have picked up the 3 points as Rose will serve again. Looks over, gets instructions from her coach. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Scott on the left wing. She attacks that right hand. Rose with a dig. They go middle of the floor to Anderson as she winds up. Block kept alive by Scott. It dances on the net. Tipped down. Actually, they're going to call into the net against the Eagles, as the Rebels will pick up the point, 20-16, as Ellsworth will serve. 20-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Rose. It's played back to the back line where Hansen attacks. That's going to go too far across that back line. 21-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve again. But not before we get a timeout called by the Eagles as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 21-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top here in set 4. 2-1 Lyman on top in set score as the Rebels looking to pick up 4 points to force it to a set 5. Still a lot of work to do as Ellsworth serve over. Received by Rose. Actually, that falls in. That's an ace for Ava Ellsworth, as none of the Eagles ran to the ball after the receive from Rose. 22-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Ellsworth serves again, as that is just across that back line as Eldridge did a good job to get out of the way of that one. 22-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Lyman in, Peyton Anderson out. 22-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Scott on the left wing as she attacks. Eldridge with a dig in the back left corner. Middle of the floor to Morgan Anderson as she hits it out of bounds across that right wing sideline, as that looked like a very good attack there from Anderson as she tried to pick on that right wing sideline. Scott will serve for the Rebels as she attacks. Ball over, received by Rose. Set up Hansen on the left wing attack. That's blocked. Eldridge keeps it alive. They go to the opposite side this time for Bradshaw. That goes into the block of the Rebels. Pins it up against the net. 23-17 as Bradshaw picks up the kill. By my count, that's 6 for her. But, of course, these are unofficial as those 6 kills match her number as Bradshaw will serve. 23-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over. Received by Smith, as Wilson's able to play it out of the net. Taylor runs back, keeps it alive. Hansen with the dig as Taylor tips it over. Received by Eldridge. She'll attack middle of the floor, out of bounds across that right wing sideline. And the Rebels are 1 point away from pushing this to set number 5. Pugmire will serve. Serve over, off of Eldridge, into the net, and that is going to fall in. We're going to set number 5 as the Haiti Pugmire ace pushes it to set 5, 25-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As when we come back, we'll have that decisive set number 5 as you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. We have a decisive set 5-15 as both teams have 2 sets wins. Lyman picking up the win in the first set, 25-16. The Rebels pick up the win, 25-23 in set number 2. 25-18 Eagles over the Rebels in set number 3. Set number 4, the Rebels win 25-17 as the Rebels will get the serve first here, as it'll be a very interesting set number 5. Back-to-back matches for the Rebels going to 5 sets. Back-to-back matches for the Eagles going to 5 set. The only difference is the Rebels' last match that went to 5 sets was on Saturday. Eagles have already played a couple times this week. As for the Eagles, though, if you can grind your way through this, it's going to be good for you in the tournament, as you only have to play 2 games. I think they only play 1 game per day at the state tournament, at the regional tournament in Wyoming. Rebels will have to play 2 and 2 to get to where they want to go. But this will really test your mental. This is a good test for both teams here in set number 5 against pretty solid opponents. It is a great opportunity here for both of these teams to really test what they have here in set number 5. It'll be to 15. Of course, the Rebels lost last week in 5 sets to South Summit. And when they did, they fell behind 7-0 in the set. So the key here for the Rebels here in set number 5 is going to be their first point. If they can get their first point before they allow 7, I think they're going to be in a much better position. As a 6 on the floor will be Scott, Wilson, Ellsworth, Pugmire, Taylor, and Paige Smith will check in for Janie Walentine when she gets the go-ahead. 6 on the floor for the Eagles. Bradshaw, Nelson, Eldridge, Lyman, Hansen, and Morgan Anderson. Rose will check in as she checks in for Nelson. Timmy Trumpet serenades the crowd as we are ready to go here in set number 5. One final check on the Rebels sideline as Walentine will check out, Smith will check in. Ball goes to Scott. As Scott waits the final whistle, gets that whistle, attacks with the right-handed jump serve, and we are underway in set number 5. Rose with a dig. They set up Eldridge. Left wing attack deflected high in the air, kept alive by Ellsworth with a nice dig on the left wing. Scott plays it over from the back row. Eagles will set up the attack again. This time Morgan Anderson. That's blocked right back into the Lyman side. That's Pugmire with the huge block. Puts the Rebels on top. 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As after the block, Scott will serve. Third of the game for Haiti. Serve over, received by Eldridge. They go right back to her on the left wing. She attacks Scott. Keeps that one alive as Taylor nearly runs into the bleachers trying to keep the ball alive. 2 weeks away from the state tournament. Just conceded the point. Good effort, though, from Taylor as it does not go across the antenna. It'll be out of bounds. Serve for Morgan Anderson. Received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor. Left wing. She attacks. Lets it go. Deflected. Kept alive by Bradshaw. Back row. Eldridge will push it over. She finds Taylor. Rebels are going to go right back to Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go. That is too far across that back line, out of bounds. 2-1 Eagles on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Rose will check in for Bradshaw. Anderson will serve. Morgan Anderson received by Smith. Rebels go Taylor, left wing. She attacks, tips it over. Diving effort, but it's going to go out of bounds as Lyman got her hands to it. Violet Taylor picks up kill number 16 in the contest. 2-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Serve over, out of bounds across the left wing sideline. 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Service errors are huge in a fifth set when the race to 15 as Pugmire will check out. Smith will check in as Hansen will serve. She attacks, ball over, received by Scott. Rebel set up Taylor, left wing, right hand. She taps it over. That's going to fall in as we'll check that out on the Stacey's Repair instant replay. Kill number 17 for Violet as she winds up, throws the change up, picks up the kill. Wilson with the serve, received by Eldridge. They set up Eldridge, left wing attack off of Scott, back to the Lyman side. Eldridge again, left wing, she attacks, that falls in as we are tied, or excuse me, it's 4-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Eldridge will serve. Serve over, received by Eldridge. As they go Wallenstein, middle of the floor, tips it into the net. 5-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Eldridge to serve again. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go to Ellsworth, who taps it over. That's going to fall in. Miscommunication there between the Eagles as Ellsworth picks up the kill. She just kind of tapped that one over, just trying to get the ball over on the third hit. She picks up her third kill as Taylor will serve. Received by Bradshaw. They go right back to her on the left wing. She attacks. That's off of Wilson. Hits the basketball stanchion, kept alive as it falls in. 6-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Apparently the basketball hoop is in play, as that's twice now we've seen it hit that stanchion, play not be killed. Smith with the receive, Scott with the attack. That's deflected back to the Rebel side. Smith digs it out. They go right back to Scott as she pushes it down the near sideline. Bradshaw with the good read there. As they go to Morgan Anderson, tipped over. Smith with the back right corner dig. Ellsworth will attack from the opposite side. That's blocked back off of her, out of bounds. 7-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels are going to call a timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote. 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 7-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Eagles on top here in the decisive set number 5. It's a race to 15 as Rose will serve. Serve over, received by Scott as that's tipped down at the net by Morgan Anderson. 8-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Rose will serve again. Ball over, received by Scott. Rebels set up the attack. They go middle of the floor as Smith will bump it over. Eagles set up their attack. Go to the outside for Bradshaw. Tipped over. That falls in. 9-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Another run in a set 5. It's kind of put the Rebels behind the 8 ball. You can't allow runs in set 5 when you go to 15. Not enough time to come back. 9-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over. Received by Smith as Ellsworth taps it over. Hansen with the dig, middle of the floor. Set up Anderson, and she'll fall back and attack. Received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott, left wing. She attacks as blocked, kept alive by Smith. Into the net, or they're going to call a lift against the Rebels. 10-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as it's slowly starting to slip away. Rose with the serve coming up. Ball over. Falls in for an ace. 11-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We got another timeout by the Rebels. So you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. 11-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Rose will serve again. Feels like she's been at the service line for the entirety of set number 5. Ball over, received by Scott as Wilson tries to tip it over. That's deflected down on the Rebels side. They had an opportunity to play it as they're going to check Argyle in for Scott. 12-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rose will serve. Ball over, received by Smith. Rebels go to Ellsworth for the attack. Rose with the read, digs it out. Anderson will attack. That's deflected high in the air, kept alive by Wallenstein. Rebels go to Argyle, who attacks from the left wing. That one goes into the net as we're going to check Scott back in for Argyle. 13-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Rose with the serve, Scott with the dig. They go right back to Scott. She attacks down that right wing sideline out of bounds. 14-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as match point is in the hands of Rose. Serve over, received by Scott. Rebels go to Ellsworth, who attacks. That's off the front line, out of bounds. Rebels live to fight another play. 14-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as they're going to have to go on quite the run here. Smith with the serve. Or Smith to serve, excuse me. Serve over, received by Rose. Played back to the middle of the floor where Bradshaw attacks. Wilson keeps it alive. Rebels play it to Scott on the left wing as she bumps it over. Rose with the dig. Here come the Eagles attack. They go Bradshaw left wing. That falls in, and that'll do it. As the Eagles win this one in 5 sets. You are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
fast, fresh, delicious. 3 words that describe your experience every time you enjoy a delicious meal with Jimmy John's. Utilizing the freshest ingredients, home-baked bread, and professional sandwich building skills, the team at Jimmy John's always delivers a mouth-watering sandwich to satisfy any hunger. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast, freaky fresh. Visit any of our locations today in Evanston, Rock Springs, Sheridan, and Gillette.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. That is it time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap as the Eagles win this match 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. I want to give you an update on Raiden Lutz. If you were listening to the football game earlier, Raiden was was stretchered off the field as this is from his mom via brother Leifson, as his test results show no permanent damage done. He should heal quick and be back at it soon. And that is from Raiden Lutz's mom, Cherie Lutz. As we thank her for the update, we also thank her for allowing us to share that with you, just because it's a scary situation in a football game whenever the stretcher comes out. So we wish Raiden a speedy recovery as the Rebels drop this one. We go into our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. They drop this one 3-2. As the Eagles win set 1, 25-16. Rebels win set 2, 25-23. Eagles win set 3, 25-18. Rebels win set 4, 25-17, before the Eagles win set 5, 15-5. Fortunately, it got away from the Rebels a little bit there in the end, but you got to remember, this is a really good Lyman team. To take them 5, that's an impressive thing for the Rebels. You got to remember, at home, they got swept and able to come here on their floor during a pink-out game on senior night in a pretty hostile environment. I guess when we say hostile, we mean a loud environment, rowdy environment, not necessarily that the players were in danger. But, it was quite the environment. Rebels were able to take 2 sets from the Eagles, and set 4 was fairly impressive. They led throughout the entirety of the set. So, you gotta give credit to the Rebels as they fought hard. It's disappointing they weren't able to pull it out in the 5th set. But, it's a great job by the Rebels to push it to 5 as they had their backs against the wall, and they came out like caged animals in set number 4. As when we come back, we'll have some post-match highlights for you as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. In the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. Eagles win this one 3-2. It is time for some Town of Woodruff post-match highlights on the Independent Software Solutions post-game show. For the Rebels leading the way on the attack, Violet Taylor with 17 kills. Hannah Scott finishes with 7. Ava Ellsworth with 4. Haiti Pugmire with 2. Casey Wilson with 1. Janie Walentine with 1. For the Eagles leading the way, Haley Eldridge. Of course, these are unofficial numbers. She has 18 kills. Followed by Briley Bradshaw with 6. Owen Hansen has a pair. Morgan Anderson with 2. Addie Nelson with 3. As once again, those are unofficial numbers, as those are just my count as I'm quickly trying to mark down who got the kill before the start of the match. I think the coaches go back through, they'll watch the film, and they will award stats based on that, and that's the official stats. As when we come back, we'll have your precision play of the game as well as your player of the game as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Precision, the quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate.
Precision is important. Scoring the next point, making the perfect shot, getting the best score. And when you think of your dentist, you want precision to be the first word that comes to mind. That's why patients are so pleased with Dr. McKay Frankum. He provides precision family dentistry at reasonable prices to every patient. Dr. McKay Frankum, call today for an appointment.
Call Dr. McKay Frankum at 789-8910.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Triples varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. It is time for the Dr. McKay Frankum precision play of the game, and for that, we're going to give it to the ace that sent the Rebels to set number 5, as it was Ava Ellsworth with the ace that gave the Rebels the opportunity to push it to 5, and unfortunately they're unable to get it done in 5, but heck of a night, though, for the Rebels team as they take 2 sets from this Lyman squad. If you remember last year, they were unable to win a single set against them, and that was kind of one thing that I think the Rebels would have wanted, as one of the Perry kids, the younger daughters, makes a one-handed catch. Not really surprised there. But the Rebels take 2 sets today, as that's a good start. They'll get Manila tomorrow, and then we'll see who they have in the state tournament. But if they play like they did today, they're going to be a really tough out in the tournament no matter who they play. It's just being consistent and playing at this level. It's going to have to start with playing at this level of volleyball tomorrow. This is a much improved Rebels team from the last time these two teams played. As when we come back, we'll have the Crawford Troth player of the game as you're watching the 2023 Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're having a great day or not, food always makes it better. Delicious, fresh-cooked favorites like a juicy cheeseburger, a thick raspberry shake, onion rings, fries, or a River Bridge soda. A grilled chicken wrap always hits the spot. And don't forget twisted ice cream cones. They never disappoint. Add the always friendly and helpful staff at the Crawford Trough, and you've got the perfect recipe for a perfect meal. Something tasty from the Crawford Trough always makes your day better. Stop in today. The Crawford Trough, Randolph.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Triples varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ, as it is time for your Crawford Troth player of the game on the Independent Software Solutions postgame show. And man, the Rebels played really well today. They had a lot of contributions all over the floor. Casey Wilson doesn't get a lot of mention because she's the setter for this Rebels team, but she had 3 aces and a kill. Ava Ellsworth had 4 kills and an ace. Hannah Scott had 7 kills on her bad shoulder. Haiti Pugmire with 2 kills, 3 blocks, 2 aces. But we have to give the player of the game to Violet Taylor, who finishes the contest with 17 kills. She continues her quest for what I think is a possible 1A State Player of the Year bid, as she averages 4 kills per set. Not a lot of players in 1A doing that. As I said on my weekly radio show, The Rebel Report, if the Rebels win the state title, I think it's a no-brainer that she is the 1A State Player of the Year. But for now, she's just the Crawford Troth Player of the Game. But we have one last calendar update for you on the day, as the Rebels volleyball team will have senior night tomorrow at Rich High School. The Rebels will take on the Manila Mustangs. And then our final regular season contest of the year in the fall. If you can believe it already, the Rebels football team will be playing at Pinedale next Friday. I believe the start time for that game is 7 o'clock. And, of course, the Rebels cross-country team. If you're not doing anything on Tuesday and you can make your way to Manila, Rebels cross-country team will take place in their region meet, looking to make it to state. As that will do it for us here. I want to thank all of our sponsors, because without them, none of this is possible. It's been a long day, but it's been a great day as we were able to bring you the football game between Rich and Lyman and the volleyball game between Rich and Lyman. Fortunately for the Rebels, Lyman finishes 2-0 in both of those. But for the Rebels, they'll go back at it tomorrow. But until next time, go Rebels.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. No portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. Thank you for joining us for this sports presentation on MyLocalRadio.com.